Welcome back. My name is Ron, and I'm here to get you some results. So, today I'm going to talk to you a real quick thing about what I got coming up on the channel. And so, if you like what you see here, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and share with those that you believe will have value in this. So, something I was like looking at yesterday was that in the last year, I learned more about just about everything than I had in the previous 20. So it's like the education system is a joke. I mean, let's be real, it's a complete joke. And I want to make a video about that as well. But it's like there's a statistic that I like heard about a while ago that it was like only 1 in 10 people ever buy a book, and only 1 in 10 of those people buy a nonfiction book. So 10% of the population buys Harry Potter, for instance, and 1% of the population will buy something like this. This is The Art of War. And look how small this book is. I mean, it's crazy small. For one of the best books ever written 3,000 years ago, and it's still used today, this book is crazy cheap. Books in general are pretty cheap because they're not popular. Even popular books are not popular. Not by the mass sense of the word, because people don't read. Let's just be honest. I like to read, but even I find myself, too busy. My audiobook. But this is actually good for you. This is good for me, because if people don't read in mass, that means books are super cheap. So I'm gonna actually do a whole video series on like my most favorite books, and actually what comes out of them. This book, for the instance, just this one, The Art of War. What's contained in this book should easily cost the price of a college master's degree. Easy. You know how much this book really cost me? $4. Yeah, and they're cheaper than that. The best book ever written, perhaps one of the best books ever written by humankind, was $4. One line in this book has made enormous difference, and I'm going to talk to you about that. This book is a treasure trove of wisdom, and if applied, and it doesn't have to just be on a physical battlefield, it can be applied anywhere. But if applied, will literally make you undefeatable. You cannot be defeated. It's crazy, and it's required reading for any military officer, any person of high success, because this book is incredible. $4 for one of the best books ever written. That's what the education system has created. That's what human patterns have created, because even wisdom like that isn't being used. But that's good for people who will use it. It's very good. So I have tons of books I like to read, and I'm going to go through them, because if you apply some of these concepts, you will see ridiculous success, ridiculous transformations. Because in a few pages of some of these books is the wisdom of a human race. It transforms everything. And because people don't want to buy books, they're not very popular. That means they're cheap. Some of the greatest things in the world are the cheapest things in the world, or even free. So I've got that coming up as well. I also got a whole series about human behavior as well, because the most important things in life are not taught in schools, and that's just a fact. I would say the number one thing that was taught in school that actually mattered was the ability to read. That's it. The rest of it, I mean, you could get that in like less than a year. The other 17, the other maybe 12 plus years you wasted in school was not for anything worthwhile. It really wasn't. When school ends, that's when the real learning begins. It isn't before that. It's like when you graduate that, you learned everything you need to learn. That's, you barely begun. That stuff was just like the appetizer. Now the real stuff begins. And if you don't learn learn what you need to learn, you're going to repeat painful lessons because you're making critical mistakes. And so, I mean, I had to learn that the hard way just like everyone else. And it's like, just because I got hungry for knowledge, when I was like 33, 34 years old, I was like, I went on a spree of learning, and I literally learned more in 1 year than I did in the past 20. And I didn't have to spend all day every day doing it. I went after specific topics and went after the things that mattered. You know what the things that really mattered are? There's three things, and these are not taught in school: wealth creation and management, relationships. How many people know how to read body language? How many men know how to read body language? Very, very few. This is not taught either. And health. None of these things are taught. And health I would put in personal development too. People don't develop themselves, and that's by design. That isn't an accident. But that is so important. And this channel is about development. Develop your finances. Develop your person. If you develop your person, everything else will follow. So that's what's got coming up, and go ahead and stay tuned for what is coming. Alright, have a great day, and I will have another video for you shortly.